The word for thread or string in many of the Indian languages is sut, especially cotton thread is called sut. The word sut itself has given rise to so many aspects in our regular day-to-day life. First and foremost, if you look at it, a person who narrates a story is called a sutta. So because he is stringing events, so he's taking the various events and stringing them along to make a story. So he's called a sutta. And if you look at it, the word for somebody who can tell you about your future is the word soothsayer. So somebody who tells you the story of what is going to unfold is a soothsayer in English, the word soothsayer in English. And also look at this word, the phrase, when somebody is telling a lie in English, it is called spinning a yarn. So spinning a yarn means telling a lie in English. That's an idiom, but that has also originated from the idea of spinning a thread, because you are connecting up some imaginary events and then making a story out of it.
Could be live events also, could be very live events. For example, all the Puranic stories in the Hindu thought, Indian thought, very clearly say you have Sutta telling the stories to the kings and to everybody, to the people at large, to the common public, every day, afternoon or evening, in the temples, in the Sabha, they tell the stories. The Sutta tells the story, weaves the story. Of all the Sutta, there are hundreds of thousands of lakhs of Sutta this land has had. Of all the Sutta, the most famous Sutta is a Sutta by name Roma Harshana, who lived a couple of generations after the Mahabharata period, who was also one of the persons who sort of compiled the Mahabharata after Vedavyas's time. And this word Roma Harshana, look at the word, how it means. Roma means hair. Harshana is happy. So the hair stands up. So when we speak about, so he weaves the story to you in such a way, it's a hair-raising experience. The hair becomes happy to stand up. So that's how, so Roma Harshana is a person who can weave the story, express the story, be it factual or be it imaginary, whichever way it is. So he is weaving the story. It's not just the weaver of the cloth, but it's also story weaver. You have the story, that's why you have the story of Roma Harshana telling a story. Man who can make your hair stand up is Roma Harshana.
This word sutta is not only confined to a weaver, somebody who is weaving a fabric or a story. A charioteer is also called a sutta because he's holding the reins. So the thread to the horse, the connect with the horse is with the charioteer, the person who is driving the chariot. So he is also a sutta, and in fact Karna in the Mahabharata, he was brought up by his father Radhe, who was a sutta. He was a charioteer. So he's called the son of a sutta. That's one point. The other aspect again of sutta you will find is a child. A child in Indian language is called sutta. The child of a parent is called sutta because the child was connected with the mother in the womb through this umbilical cord. So that umbilical cord is also a thread of connect between the child and the mother. So that's why you will always find Devaki Sutta. And Sutta typically will be used with the mother, not with the father.
As you said, it's Devaki Sutta, or you will say Nanda Kumara. See how the two different ways. So Sutta is always related with the mother.
Because it's the umbilical cord which connects. So from the story of cotton, you understand so many aspects around this civilization of India. How we pick the etymology in the Indian thought is not restricted just to one object or its meaning, but it also connects us up with so many other aspects of how we have used that idea of what that word represents itself. So the thread and the string has been used to represent so many other aspects of wherever there is a connect and wherever there is a thread of connect. And that is why a puppeteer is also called a sutradhar, and a person who can influence events is also called a sutradhar. Krishna is one of the foremost examples of a sutradhar because he manages, or he influences the whole unfolding of the Mahabharata sequence of events. So the entire sequence of events, the chain of events, the string of events of the Mahabharata, the fundamental influencer for all of this was Krishna. So he is a Sutradhar. So beautiful ways in which this single thread of cotton has lent itself to manifest as a string of so many meanings and ideas.
So Krishna as Parthasarathi is a Sutradhar. Here Sarathi is the person who drives the vehicle, the chariot with the 4 horses. So he holds the reins of the 4 horses. So he's a Sutradhar.
And
For
Partha was Arjuna. Arjuna's mother, Kunti, also has a name Pritha. So Pritha's son is Partha. So Partha Sarathi. So that is how Krishna gets a name Partha Sarathi when referring to Arjuna. But that's a different story. But this is the story of how the thread of cotton is very tightly bound in the Indian psyche. So if during Mahabharata times you can call clans as Suta, you call the child as Suta, this means that this idea of cotton, a thread, spinning, it just goes way back to when the language itself of Sanskrit was formed. The word Sanskrit itself means job well done.
A refined language, a well refined language is Sanskrit.